The world is dotted with ancient structures whose construction defies the conventional historical timeline of human technological development. From the colossal fortresses high in the Andes to the precise stone circles of Armenia, these megalithic monuments present a profound challenge to mainstream archaeology, leading some researchers to propose radical alternative theories involving forgotten civilizations, harnessed earth energies, and even extraterrestrial assistance. The mysteries of Peru, Sacsayhuaman and Viracocha. In Peru, home to the longest mountain range on Earth, the Andes, the ancient Inca capital of Cusco, once thrived in a high river valley. Towering over 20,000 feet, the surrounding peaks set the stage for one of the most perplexing sights, Sacsayhuaman. Perched at an elevation exceeding 12,000 feet, the massive stone walls of this fortress exhibit masonry that is so sophisticated it leads many to believe its origins predate the Inca themselves. Some researchers hold the very strong feeling that sites like Sacsayhuaman are a two-phase construction site. They argue that the recognizable Inca structures were built on top of much more ancient, rock-cut, and truly megalithic foundations, structures built by a people unknown to history. Tellingly, this hypothesis aligns with the Incas' own view, which did not claim full credit for the most impressive parts of the site. They attributed the initial construction to an earlier, unnamed race led by a powerful god. This god, known as Viracocha, is described in local myths as a visitor who descended from the skies, blessed the people, and gave them technology. His physical description, a very tall, pale-skinned, white-haired being, distinguishes him sharply from the indigenous population. For ancient astronaut theorists, Viracocha is a central figure, potentially representing an extraterrestrial visitor whose advanced knowledge provided the means to construct the incomprehensible stonework. The sheer scale of the labor involved, even using contemporary estimates, is staggering. A single rock weighing 1 ton is estimated to require 10 to 20 men to move. When contemplating the colossal stones at Sacsayhuaman, some of which weigh hundreds of tons, the required workforce would number in the thousands. Furthermore, the material used is often hard stone like granite, a composition of feldspar, mica, and quartz. Cutting or abrading such rock with precision today requires materials like diamond. The question then becomes, were the builders relying on simple tools and vast human labor, or was there something else at work? The global code, power spots, and the world grid. The construction of extraordinary monuments is not unique to Peru. Sites across the globe, including Stonehenge in England, the Great Pyramid of Egypt, Teotihuacan in Mexico, and Machu Picchu, stand as testament to ancient man's building capability, despite being separated by vast distances and thousands of years. This global commonality suggests to some researchers that these civilizations were not isolated, but rather part of an interacting global pattern. The hypothesis is that these ancient peoples were marking places where the power of the earth could be harnessed. This theory centers on the idea that sacred structures are located on powerfully charged areas where the Earth's electromagnetic energy gathers. Energy, broadly defined as the property allowing work or movement, including magnetic fields, electric fields, and gravity, is demonstrably present on Earth via its magnetic field. Researchers note that at certain locations, mountain areas, islands, and jungles, strange anomalies occur, including gravitational and magnetic distortions. When these locations are mapped, they appear to form into geometric patterns or grids. This concept is called the world grid. It proposes that the Earth functions like a giant crystal, with energy flowing and intersecting along specific paths or nodules. This idea finds a historical antecedent in the 4th century BC work of Greek philosopher Plato. Plato, in his writings, offered a tantalizing clue that may be the first mention of the world grid. He described the Earth as being created from 12 pentagonal faces and 20 points, vertices, on the surface. Joining these points reveals significant geometric formations. In another passage, he described a world soul as a sphere composed of 120 equal identical triangles. Anthropologist Betha Hagens created a geometric model based on this, dividing the Earth by 15 great circles to illustrate the 120 triangles, suggesting that this represents the geometric energy grid discovered by Plato 2,500 years ago. The implication for megalithic construction is profound. If the ancients, potentially with the help of advanced beings, mapped the Earth and located these power spots, could they have used this harnessed energy for anti-gravitational purposes? It is speculated that this energy could have been the means to lift a quarry and move the massive stone blocks across great distances. Karahunga, an astronomical portal in Armenia. A compelling example of a monument aligning with cosmic forces is Karahunga, also known as the Armenian Stonehenge, in the Shunik province of southern Armenia. Situated on a high plateau, this site features hundreds of basalt stones, some weighing over 50 tons, stretching for over a third of a mile. Estimated to be approximately 7,500 years old, Karahunga significantly predates the famous British Stonehenge by millennia. The structure is composed of 203 basalt slabs, with a stone circle at its center. Its most unique features are the small holes bored into 85 of the rocks at various angles, likened to telescopes. An expedition from Oxford University confirmed the site's importance, noting that the holes point toward different positions on the horizon or into the night sky. Researchers believe Karahunga was the first place where people were systematically attempting to understand their place in the solar system, making it possibly the world's oldest observatory. The site is also referred to as Zoratskara, the stones of the powerful. A key discovery is that the overall outline of the stones corresponds to the constellation Cygnus, the swan. Cygnus has been seen by various cultures globally for thousands of years as a point of entry and exit into the sky world, a belief system suggesting that humanity originates from and returns to the stars. The question arises, why would so many disparate ancient cultures share similar myths about the same constellation unless they received a unified message or instruction? The fact that Cygnus is no longer visible through the notches is attributed to the fact that the Earth's axis was on a different tilt in antiquity. The smoking gun, precision tools, and lost technology. The mystery of construction inevitably leads to the mystery of the tools. For structures like the pyramids of Egypt, the precision of the cuts and the hardness of the materials used far exceed what could be achieved with the copper tools typically ascribed to the ancient Egyptians. As one expert notes, the tools and machines used would have had to be equal to the task of crafting statues and boxes to an ultra-high, modern-day precision. In the late 19th century, British archaeologist Sir Flinders Petrie, obsessed with the technical achievements of the Egyptians, searched for evidence of their tools. He discovered examples of perfectly formed drill holes, often tapering at one end, and distinctive lathe marks on fragments of incredibly hard diorite bowls. His most significant find, made inside the Great Pyramid, was a tubular drill core made of granite. This drill core exhibited remarkable features. It was so carefully curved, precisely grooved, with extremely fine markings, lines literally a couple of millimeters apart, that were accurately maintained all the way around. Petrie's conclusion was that to achieve such a result in granite, the Egyptians must have possessed diamonds or some similar hard jewel. However, Petrie never discovered any diamonds in ancient Egypt. To test the conventional theory that a copper tube with sand as an abrasive was used, machinist expert Christopher Dunn attempted to replicate the drill core. His experiment, using a copper tube and abrasive, produced a core with rough, indistinct striations. However, when examining a latex copy of Petrie's original core under a high-tech industrial microscope, the evidence was incontrovertible. The striations were very clear, and they're quite deep. Dunn concluded that the tool marks, or the feed of the tool, were completely inconsistent with simple copper and sand. The detail of the artifact, he argued, is a smoking gun that demands a complete reassessment of the technological capabilities of the ancient Egyptians, pointing toward a lost or borrowed advanced technology. The convergence of megalithic perfection, global geometric placement, and inexplicable tooling leaves a powerful conclusion. The ancient world held secrets about construction, physics, and astronomy that remain fundamentally lost to modern understanding.